Well, I'm going to get started. Can you hear me?
Hi then.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are
Good,
you?
good, good, good.
Uh,
Glad to have you on the live. Looks like we're just starting to get people to come in.
yeah. So then, how was the day?
Today's pretty good. It's snowing outside today for us though, so we have like snow everywhere.
That's spring in Pakistan right now, and we're in a hot.
Yeah, so like, and looks like we're just starting to get people who started joining. So got a few people in. Looks like, but yeah, let's get started. I know you guys had some questions today, so I'd love to hear from you. Oh,
Yeah, basically you are a guru in a business sector. So we just wanted to know about more about the business from you. As you know, you teach different entrepreneurs on daily basis.
Yeah, for sure. So, um, where do I start? I mean, what would you like to know first?
Tell me your
My
story first of all.
story. Sure, I can tell you my story. Um, I'll start off kind of 2008, where a lot of this started for me. See, I was a carpenter. And by carpenter, not the one who would build furniture, but the one who would build houses.
Oh,
And then I got married and had a child, and I knew that was not going to be the life that I wanted to live. So what happened was I started doing sales. I started learning sales, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my whole life because um, it was a recession. So basically, the economy was really, really bad, and I started doing door to door sales. So I was like doing door to door, and
yeah.
and um, and for about 6 months or so in doing those sales, I was very bad. So I spent a lot of time learning, a lot of time trying to gather as much information as I could about how to be a better person in sales. And that started to do really well for me because people started recognizing that I was good at sales. And with that, I started learning other parts about business. Eventually, the first business that I built was $2.69 million dollars for a man named Ben Stewart. Um, it was like about 2011. And um, and we built it in 9 months, myself and five other people. So from $0 to $2.69 million in 9 months. And so I was like, wow, like I can build businesses and I can make money. And like I had now I knew I could, but I had the wrong people around me. So eventually I lost everything. Yeah, I lost absolutely everything. I ended up in a foreclosed home, and if you've read my book, you'll see that like I talk about being in a foreclosed home.
I
Yeah,
read the book. It was cool.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
And so
reading it. I'm in chapter number 3, and it's pretty much amazing. And I've learned so much from that.
yeah, it's a power like thing is there's a lot of good principles that
Yeah,
if you can understand them there, you don't have to go where I went.
yeah, yeah.
So
I found a direction because of your book. I was a newbie for business, obviously, so I just found a direction for you from your book, and I'm on chapter 3, and I'm excited to learn more about it.
good, good, and yeah. So what happened after that is that I started to make more money. I started to build more businesses. I got my mindset in the right place. I started hanging around the right people, got good mentors. And it was still painful. There's still a lot of times when, money was tight and things weren't easy. But putting the right people around you is so important. So eventually I just kept on doing what I was doing and here I am today. Right? Like so yeah.
That was great. That was great. That was an inspiring story, basically. And we have so many newbies around, and we have so many entrepreneurs around. And obviously, you caught my eye because you were having a very inspirational story from the start. And I was like, this person has made up to. a gazillion dollars up till now, and he has started from a scratch zero. So we should learn from him, and more power to you. May God bless you. And okay, now tell us more about the business. So, what should be the strategies for a newbie to start a business from scratch?
That's a you know what that's a really good question. So the first thing that you want to do as a new person in business is really understand who you're targeting. Like
Mhm.
if you don't know who you're selling to, then you don't know what needs they have. If we try to just sell whatever we think is a good idea, the chances of it failing is 52%.
Mhm.
So you have a really high chance of failure if you go to the market from your own thoughts. So as a new business, you want to be able to understand what other people want and need, because when you understand what they want and need and where their pains are, then you can build the bridge to their desired situation, and that whatever that offer is from current situation to desired situation
Mhm.
is what they're willing to pay for. People are paying for value. They're paying for change, a change in the right direction. They're paying for help to move out of the pain that they are. That's what they pay for.
Mhm.
So like the way that we have to think of it from a new standpoint is who's my ideal customer
Mhm.
and what type of pain do they have that I can fix?
Mhm. So basically, you are saying that we have to understand the market that we are targeting.
Yeah, but not just the market. We have to understand the person that we're targeting. See, I put it this way: if we think of a market, we can think of like fitness as a market.
Mhm.
But then
Mhm.
there's so many different things in fitness. So who do I want to help? Let's just say I want to help moms. So what's
Mhm.
the biggest pain for moms? It's maybe that they have a long time for recovering after they have a child. Maybe.
Mhm.
So now I want to know that person so well that when I speak to any other mom, they're like, oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Even though I may never experience it, I understand it from their point of view. So I want to really have what's called an avatar or a person in my mind that I'm serving continuously, because if there's five of them, there's 100 million of them. Does that make sense?
That's great. That's great. So, Jen, basically, we have to understand the psychology of the prospect. We have to understand them that what is their why and why should they buy the product from us.
Correct. Well, yeah, but and the best way for us to do that is to know what's their pain.
Okay.
What's their pain? Where do they want to be? What do they
Mhm.
dream of? What do they fear?
Mhm.
What are they afraid of? If you can fix those things, they will always
Mhm.
exchange money for your service.
That's great. That's great. Okay, Jen, that was a great idea. And basically, we should understand the psychology and how we can connect basically to the prospect.
Yeah.
So that could lead to more
Absolutely.
sales.
See, I want to make a point here. In fact, it's easy to sell.
Mhm.
It's easier to sell when your offer is good. So think about that.
Mhm.
The better your offer, the more that you understand their pain, the more that you understand what they're afraid of, and the more that you can help them get away from that, the less you have to
Mhm.
do sales. The more that they're willing to buy, the easier your market.
Mhm. Mhm. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Okay, Jen, I have
Sure.
a question. You said that your team was broken down and you lost your team and everything you started again from
Yeah.
the scratch. So basic, what should we see in our members that there is a certain quality that we should restrain from that. We should stay a step back from that member that basically we can that we can extract the quality of the people we have in our team so that they could be just with us forever.
Yeah. So here's the two things that are extremely important. One is not being a
Mhm.
victim. So people who take
Mhm.
responsibility for their
Mhm.
actions, for their
Mhm.
thoughts, right? For their results. It's like it's important
Mhm.
for every person on your team to take responsibility. If you find people blaming, if you see somebody blaming, they either have to the team has to correct their right. The team has
Mhm.
to correct their mind, or you have to get rid of that because it becomes a cancer. Yeah,
Oh,
like that's the number one thing. There's a bunch of other things, but that's the number one.
okay. That we have to select the people that have same energy, same resonance that we have, and they could just get along with us till the end.
Well, that's one part, but
Mm-hmm.
so I want you to think about this. So if somebody comes in and says, "Look, I want to do this. I want to hit $5,000 in the next 6 months," okay,
Mm-hmm.
for example, but you see them not doing any work, or you see them not doing what they're supposed to be doing. That
Mm-hmm.
that mentality is destructive. It will destroy your team. So
Mm-hmm.
so what do we need? We need people who are willing to take responsibility. And if you correct them, if you tell them, hey, listen, like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a human being, you need to step it up. And they're like, oh, it's the government, it's the economy, like nobody likes what I
Yeah.
have. Okay, that is not acceptable. That is not acceptable at all. That is a destructive person. It is destructive to your team. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
That means we have to avoid the complainers that are obviously already complaining about everything in the market, everything about the prospect, about everything about the circumstances they have. So we just have to avoid those people.
Yeah, those are the people I would avoid like a plague because they will destroy you. They will pull from you. They will take everything from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're somebody
So,
said this. You're 100% responsible for you. Yes, 100%. But you're also here's the thing. I just want to make sure like that was a good point. But you're also 100% responsible for everyone around you. And if you all have that mentality, then you will all keep
mm-hmm.
each other in check.
Mm-hmm. That's the point.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. So, Jan, basically, what would be the biggest mistake for a business entrepreneur who is just starting a business like me and who's growing day by day? What would be the biggest mistake that he or she should avoid at the right moment he's starting business?
Yeah. So the biggest mistake is not having a clear picture and plan of where you want to go. And I talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about this in my book, where you want to understand your current situation for you, and you want to understand your desired situation, and you want to put steps. You want to be
Yeah.
very clear on your steps. So if you don't have steps starting off, you're already lost. This is because
Mm-hmm.
building a business is not easy. It's not like I wake up one day out of bed and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
I put something on the market and everybody buys it. It just for some people that might happen, very small,
Yeah.
but the chances of that happening are very little. So you have to have your plan. You have to have your steps.
Yeah. But basically, you wrote in your book that we have to have a very clear picture of what we are standing right now, on the place we are standing right now, and we have to have a very clear picture of our goal as well.
Correct.
And then we have to divide the steps and take the step by step journey towards the goal. That was the biggest lesson I have from your book. And I was like, yeah, this makes sense basically, that we should not have a calculated, matlab, if we are having a journey, okay? So we should calculate the steps and then we should move towards the goal.
Correct. You need to calculate the steps first, then move towards the goal. You don't want to spend too much time there. You just need to do it once. You just need to calculate your steps and then start.
Mhm.
So one of the things I didn't make as much mention in it in the book as I probably should have, but one of the things that I talk to my clients a lot about is progress, not
Mhm.
perfection. So you want to progress and not, it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be a perfect plan. It has to be a plan that you can see and progress towards and adjust if you need it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Basically, and Jen, what happens if somebody fails at the business on the start and they're losing? If I be a business entrepreneur, I'm a leader right now. I have a team, and if I see somebody is having that losses and somebody is not that good at the business, and how that I as a leader can buck up that person and how can I make them feel better so that they can just move along and they can have those baby steps back again and they can put the things right in their place and they can just move with the same pace that I'm moving and they can have obviously that a success as well.
Yeah, so I think one of the best ways to think of it is this way, is that like as a leader, we're always
Hmm.
going to be one step ahead.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be hard for somebody to keep up with you as the leader. But what we want to do is we want to keep them inspired. And how we do that is
Hmm.
back to making sure that with this mentality, often leaders have this problem. They want to help everybody out
Yeah, yeah.
because that's what leaders do. But the best thing I've learned is this: good leaders help themselves out so that they can
Yeah.
help others.
Ooh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So here's the saying around it. It's this.
Hmm.
Um it's I will help me to help you, and I need you to help you so you can help me. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
If I pour my stuff into you, but I'm not helping me, eventually I will burn out as the leader and I'll have to stop leading at one point.
Okay. That's basically you are saying that we should implement those things and we should help us basically to show them a path that they could follow.
Yeah, you definitely, so you want to be more of an example to follow than you are the help.
Yeah,
So it's better for you to be more of an example.
yeah,
You aren't, yeah. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great. Okay, then, what would be the biggest advice you would give to a young entrepreneur or a newbie into business like that? Because I have a medical background, I'm a newbie into business. I deal in nutrapharmaceuticals. So basically, what would you give the best advice to somebody like me?
So somebody like you who just come out and you're from a medical background,
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
I would say use that medical background to your advantage.
yeah.
Why? Because all that's left is marketing and sales. So what
Mhm.
need can you fill in the medical industry, and what person do
Yeah.
you want to serve? Go and interview. Take
Mm.
some time and interview the people that you want to serve. Whether that's moms, whether that's dads, whether that's children, whether that's teenagers. Go find out what they need medically. Right?
Okay.
And then because you have the knowledge behind the medical background, you can build
Mhm.
something that will help them.
Okay.
Does that,
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, that's making perfectly. You're making the sense that we have to basically use our current knowledge and add up more into that, and then just process that to be to be grown into a good business that could obviously excel.
Correct. You need, it's like it's so imperative, guys, to use the
Yeah.
knowledge that you have in times past to build what you want
Yeah.
to build now.
Mhm.
Right? Like it's so important. If you don't, then what happens is you have to keep restarting over and over and over again.
Okay. That means you're saying that keep a good grip on my past knowledge and add more into it, and then drive that energy into my business.
Exactly. You got it.
That's great. That's super great. Okay, Jen, what is the basic uh, calculation or the basic figures that you would say that in the beginning, if these figures are you, if you are getting these figures into your business, you would excel or you would shoot this business up to the highest level?
Yeah. So here's the thing. It really depends on the response of your offer.
Mhm.
That's what I would say. It's the response of your offer. So I had a client who came right out of school and he was in performance psychology. He was in psychology,
Mhm.
and he said, I
Yeah,
want to help nurses get better jobs.
yeah,
And so what he did is he went out and he started helping nurses get better jobs. And when he did,
mhm.
he got 5 people in the first 3 weeks. He made way over his own paycheck that he was making from his 9 to 5 job because his offer
Mhm.
was so good.
That's
right?
great.
So you see, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for those type of offers. But it didn't come from his head. He started off wanting to do, um, he wanted to help sports, people in sports.
Yeah.
But then he decided, after taking a look at his avatar, that he would rather help nurses because he
Mhm.
understood that more. He knew that that's what was needed. He knew people needed that. So when he started doing the interviews,
Yeah.
they actually signed up on the interviews,
Yeah.
right? Like he started going out asking people, and they signed up on the interviews. So that's how you know that it's time for you to scale. It's time for you to get everything out of the way and start to focus just on that business.
Okay. That's great, Jen. We have so much points and we learned was a super great experience from you basically learning and excelling and having advices from a young a business entrepreneur who is such a successful person, and we look forward to you each and every day. And we are obviously reading our books, your books, and we I'm on with basically chapter number 3 right now, and I am just inspired by that book, and I read almost 10 to 30 pages every day, and it's a great. It's a hidden business, I would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys wanting to do this. And yeah, let's stay connected, and let's see. If you have any questions, any concerns, I'm here for you. So
Thank you so much, then, for your time, and we'll catch you in the comment section and the inbox if I have
okay,
further questions. I'll. Thank you so much, then.
sounds good. See you guys later.